Welcome back, everyone, to the final portion of this week's Countdown to Kickoff show. Al DeMarco along with Steve Budin, and we are going to continue motoring on here on your NFL card. Steve, Chicago hosting Detroit Bears. Short week, but they're back at home after the huge Monday night upset, a game in which they dominated Philadelphia, every aspect of that contest. If not for Matt Forte having a couple of fumbles, which is the first time he's fumbled 2 straight times since the season opener a year ago, they would have won that game even more handedly. First time these two met was a Monday nighter a month and a half ago. I had my biggest play of the season on Detroit in that contest. This is my best bet on today's card. I've got to tell you right now. Now you've got, naturally, Chicago laying 3 at home, but you've got Detroit coming off a bye, has excelled on the road, and the Lions destroyed a Denver team that a lot of people would say, oh, it was just Denver 2 Sundays ago. But we saw what Denver did last week when they went on the road to Oakland, right?
Yeah, I think one of the themes that we're seeing now this week is teams that come off of big emotional wins and teams that come off of big emotional losses and how they react to those wins and losses. Bears, to me, came off a very big win last week. Can they get it up again to play this Detroit team that obviously is one of the, a big powerhouse in this league? Detroit's been, had trouble running the ball. Obviously, they'd like to pass the ball every single down. Bears are going to be in that cover 2 defense, just baiting them, waiting for them to pass that ball. I think that's a big advantage for the Bears here, their defense. I think that's why they win and cover this game.
So you like the Bears. One thing I will point out, if you're a numbers junkie, Bears 7-13-1 against the spread, their last 21 as a home favorite. Numbers for the Lions, 8-1-1 against the spread, their last 10 on the road, 3-0-1 ATS on the road this year, including a 4-0 straight-up performance. And coming off a bye, they have covered 5 of their last 7, but numbers are numbers. I mean, they're not always right. Next game we want to talk about is going to be Baltimore-Seattle. You talked about teams rebounding after tough losses or how they handle success after a big win. Earlier in the show pointed out that the Steelers are just a dynamite play after they play Baltimore. It is the opposite after Baltimore plays Pittsburgh. The Ravens are just 4-9 against the spread the last 13 times after meeting the Steelers. A lot of people say it's because it's such a physical game, it drains so much out of them. Could be also because it's basically a Super Bowl every time these two play.
100%. They have to bring every ounce of energy and emotion they have to beat a Steeler team that most people don't give them credit for being better than, but they keep beating them. They have their number. Look, at the end of the day, there's nothing that can make me bet the Seattle Seahawks. I don't care. So I'm going to lay the 6.5 points here with the Ravens because I just don't bet on the Seahawks. I don't do it.
Yeah, and yet the word of warning here is that this is a Baltimore team that lost 12-7 at Jacksonville 2 Mondays ago. Baltimore team that got hammered at Tennessee earlier this season. You just never know what you get with the Ravens.
And don't you feel, though, we're getting to a time of the season where teams like the Ravens, who are serious contenders to win their division, they don't have room for any more letdowns. They must bring it each and every week now if they're going to finish strong.
Well, in the division standings, you have a letdown here against Seattle, then you negate the come-from-behind win at Pittsburgh last week. I agree this is time for Baltimore to step up. You're getting an advantageous price because everybody knows the Ravens have struggled on the road. So normally, this game's played in Baltimore. Ravens are favored by 13.5. Normally, they are favored by 10, 10.5. 7, 7.5? I think you got to go with Baltimore here. Forget about this Seattle team. By the way, Seattle's offensive line has allowed its quarterbacks to be sacked 29 times this season. Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs are going, oh, man, we're going to get 2.5 each today, baby. San Francisco and the New York Giants. Giants could not have had a bigger win last week. Your Baltimore crew, 31-15 over the past 4 years. Rare 50-dimer.
And I got to be honest, I saw that play come in, and I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe.
Well, you said on the show last week, you love the Giants, and I know you called me and said, Baltimore crew, big play, and coming in on the Giants as well. That's got to be positive confirmation that you have a solid opinion.
Right, and, the big question for me in this game, though, is more about the 49ers. Are the gamblers out there willing to finally concede that this 49er team is an elite football club once again? People are used to seeing them the last couple of years really stink, but that's not the case anymore. They got a new coach. They're playing like crazy for them. They're doing real well. They're improving each and every week. I think this is a spot at home for them where they come in and they go through the Giants like Grant went through Richmond. I don't think the Giants are going to get this one. I like the 49ers here.
I think it's a difficult spot for the Giants. I mean, and let's not forget here about the Giants. This is a team that needed a second second half rally after
Scored
being
0
outplayed.
points in the first half against New England.
No,
Zero,
I'm
right?
talking about 2 weeks ago. Needed a second half rally after being outplayed at home against Miami.
Right.
Lost at home to Seattle. Couple road games back, went to Arizona, badly outplayed, had to rally in the fourth quarter for the win here. They are an inconsistent team. The flip side, of course, is San Francisco. Yeah, they're 3-0 ATS this year as a home favorite. Seattle, Tampa Bay, Cleveland. I mean, they played one good team at home this year, Dallas. Blew the big lead, lost the game in overtime. Eli Manning's having a great year. I think, I got to be honest with you. I like the Giants a little bit here. I like the over, though, however, a little bit more at 42.5. And when I say the Giants, listen, they have covered 23 of their last 30 as a road dog. I mean, that's an impressive run. 2-0 this year, guys, as a dog. Beat Philadelphia, beat New England, both times as an underdog of considerable points. So I like the Giants in here and lean a little toward the over. Boy, this is a good game here.
Let's go to the other team in New York.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to wrap up the show, guys. Jets and New England. The bottom line is that the home team has won and covered each of the last 5 regular season meetings. You know what happened last year in the playoffs when the Jets played the Patriots. I told you here last week on the show that the Patriots were going to go down against the Giants because when Tom Brady faces a physical defense this year, he has struggled. Dallas hit him hard. Pittsburgh hit him hard. The Giants hit him hard. The Jets have a reputation of being a physical defense. They haven't played physical enough
lately they
this year.
found themselves on defense. They started out the season very soft. Lately they found themselves. But what really needs to be discussed here, and what no sports guy is talking about anywhere on TV or the radio, is what the hell's wrong with Bill Belichick. No one's giving him any slack. 3 years now, he's supposed to be a defensive god. Nobody evaluates talent like him on defense. Well, the New England defense has stunk for 3 straight years. Whose fault is that? It's Bill Belichick's fault. He's not the great football god like everyone's giving him credit to be. He's human, just like anyone else. And actually, Rex Ryan's got a way better defensive scheme than him. I like the Jets here. I think they beat New England. I think they beat them up. And by the way, that's going to be 3 in a row for New England. A very rare thing that they do, lose 3 games in a row.
Yeah, I can certainly see the Jets getting the job done. I think it's very hard to buck those trends. I mean, and it's a suspension of disbelief again. And I always talk about that in certain games because just what you said, the Patriots can't lose 3 in a row. Yeah? You don't think so? Well, they lost to Pittsburgh. You didn't think they'd lose last week against the Giants. Jets ground game last week against Buffalo. Granted, it was the Bills, but 126 yards rushing. That's their second biggest output of the season. The question mark here is the Jets defense or Jets offense. I mean, Jesus, you couldn't score in the first half against the Buffalo Bills. Bills can't play any defense. Bills are like here, Patriots are here in the defensive standings.
Sanchez threw an interception from the 5-yard line. That took away their one and only scoring opportunity in the first half. It was a shame. But at the end of the day, look, let's handicap back to the Giants 49ers. How good were the Giants for beating New England? Maybe not that good. Maybe New England stinks. Maybe that's why the Giants beat them. That makes my San Francisco play even stronger.
So I like the Jets here. I agree with Steve, but I got to be honest with you. Like I warned you last week, I think Jets-Patriots is just like the Ravens-Steelers game.
Watch it.
Exactly. Watch the game. Enjoy the game. Don't bet on the game because in the final minute, you might get screwed, and that's the bottom line. Guys, that'll do it for this week's edition of the Countdown to Kickoff Show. Remember, you've got until 1 o'clock Eastern Time today to finalize your rosters over at draftstreet.com. $300 of my money up for grabs. Top 7 finish in the money. It's a free contest. You go to draftstreet.com, enter my last name, DeMarco. Steve and I will try to finish somewhere at least in the top 150 this week after last week's embarrassing performance. Again, you have to 1 o'clock Eastern and instant gratification, guys. The game, the results, the money, everything's paid out after the Monday night game between Minnesota and Green Bay. I want to thank Trace Adams for joining us once more. Remember, Trace, like myself, has a daily video report on his homepage. You can get his free picks and analysis every single day. Good luck to everybody. For Steve Budin, Al DeMarco, we'll catch you again next week here on the Countdown to Kickoff Show.